naturally. Yes. Karen, blessed. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Cecil. Good Celia. Give you Sharon Ezra, good night. Who's Jamaica? We got the lights a little better. We're going to go back. I'm going to show you some things we can use now. Wonderful. All right. Give thanks. That's my big son over there. My big son, Tarek. Tarek Dallas. Yeah, man. Yes. Wonderful. Let's enlighten. We're getting better and better. We want some camera. Yeah. It is very difficult for us sometimes to change the habit that we have, but sometimes we do have to do that in order to save our lives. Yeah. So that's what I did. I cut out sloppy Joe. I cut out refined carbohydrates. I don't eat no refined food at all. Period. Yeah. And after my stroke, these doctors, one was a cardiologist. He said to me, "You have to take the drugs till you die, because you can't fix hypertension, right? Because they have me as being essential hypertension. I don't know what that is. No cause of it. There's always a cause. So they have me on lots of drugs, and I was having troubles to get an erection. And a lot of men who's on high blood pressure medication could tell you that. Because I was on a beta blocker, I had troubles getting an erection. And you know, our Caribbean men, we like to do the thing. So I had problems with that. So the drugs I was taking became problematic to me sexually. And I'm being very honest. You know what I mean? I had to hide nothing. Anybody hiding is a joke. I don't hide nothing. I'm telling you how it is. If I'm sick, I say I'm sick. If I have cancer, I come and say you all have cancer. If I'm taking a drug, I say I'm taking a drug. I'm truthful. After 6 months, I went to a Chinese doctor. And this on Mott Street. Still go there. And the Chinese doctor said to me, "Do you know where your high blood pressure is coming from?" No. He said, "Well, different cause of it. Find the cause and you fix your hypertension." Yeah. This Chinese doctor put me on some Chinese herb. That's why I study Chinese medicine, you know. I mix them together with wisdom. And the Chinese said to me, "I want you to go back home. And I want you to throw away all your aluminum pots in your house. Don't use them. Remove aluminum foil from your dad. Remove aluminum deodorants from put on your arm. And I want you to go and get some cast iron pot, and I'm going to give you some herbs for 7 days. And after 7 days, I want you to come back to me. And after 7 days, check my pressure. 200 over 115, 180 over 110, 150 over 90, 140 over 90. And I say, "Wow, oh yeah." So I continued for 9 months because I had severe hypertension. Not moderate hypertension, not mild to moderate hypertension. I had severe hypertension. And it really cost me my life. So I'm saying to people now, I'm going to show you how you can repair your hypertension if you have discipline. Right? Follow me now. There are some supplements that we need to help with the heart muscle. And there are some herbs that you need to get in order to help the heart to have a better and a stronger contraction. Yeah? Come over here. Let's go, son. Come over here, son. 30-day program to reverse hypertension, like I did. I reversed it. Yeah? I want you to look at it very carefully now. Yeah? Now, let's look at the heart muscle and the heart function. Because lots of people who have high blood pressure have troubles in their heart, like I did. Yeah? So, let's look at the heart function. Now let's look at this guy over here, which is called the aorta. And this guy sends blood all over. Because everything is blood movement. I want you all to follow me carefully now. All right? My nephew, who is a cardiologist, I think he's an emergency, but if we have a little chance, while we're on the program, he's going to throw in his 2 cents. We're looking at a superior vena cava. And this vena cava, superior that is, it takes blood from your brain, from your face, from your arms, and from your chest, and send it to the pulmonary trunk. That's what the superior vena cava does. He moves the blood, the deoxygenated blood, bad blood we call it, from the brain, and from the face, and from your arms, and from your shoulders. That's what this one, and from your brain to take the blood from. The inferior vena cava take the blood from your legs, from the lower part of the body, and it sends it into the right atrium. So your superior vena cava remove blood from the upper, deoxygenated blood, from the upper part, brain, face, arm, and the inferior vena cava move the blood from the lower part. And they both send the deoxygenated blood to your right atrium. And then your right atrium send that same old bad blood with bad carbon dioxide to the left atrium. And then the left atrium send it to the pulmonary trunk. And then this trunk send it to your lung. That's how it works, you know. God is great. And then it comes back in from the lung as oxygen. So you throw out the bad blood or the carbon dioxide and you bring back in oxygen. And then the oxygen comes right back into the left atrium, and then it goes into the left ventricle. And it goes right around again. And then after the whole day again, the superior vena cava remove all the deoxygenated blood from your brain and your face and your arm, and the inferior vena cava does the same thing. And it goes on every day to make this muscle work for you. If there is a disruption in the flowing of the blood from the heart or into the heart muscle, you're going to get hypertension. You're going to get some troubles in your heart long term. I'm telling you all. So I had troubles in my brain because my superior vena cava was not removing enough bad blood from my brain. And all the toxins went into my brain with the fats and clogged up my brain, and I had a stroke. Follow me now. The pulmonary vessel, veins, will pick up now the blood now from all the left ventricle, left atrium, and this here will send the blood through everywhere, with the aorta. And that does every single day for us. If there is troubles in the chambers, right atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle, 4 chambers, up and lower. If there is any troubles in the chambers, and if there is any troubles in the valve, you're going to have troubles in your heart. And if the heart muscle do not have certain nutrients to function, we're going to tell them what they are in a little while, your heart is going to give you troubles long term. And then you're going to have troubles in the circulatory system, because without the heart muscle, the blood can never flow. Right, follow me. So, superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, send all the bad blood to the right atrium, and send it to the right ventricle, and then send it to the pulmonary trunk, chuck it out as carbon dioxide, and come back again from the lungs with oxygen into the left atrium, and into the left ventricle, and into the pulmonary vein, and all over, to the feet, to the brain, and that's how it works every day. But lots of people in America, because they eat so bad, they have lots of troubles in their heart. And that's the reason why heart disease is the number 1 killer of Americans. And it is also catching up with people in Barbados. It is also catching up with people in Grenada. Heart disease is catching up with us in the Caribbean country, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua, St. Lucia. It's catching up with us too, because lots of people in the Caribbean is suffering from high blood pressure, like I did. Yeah, wonderful. So that's how the heart works. Now, if you have troubles in the aorta, or you have troubles in the trunk, or you have troubles in what they call the chambers of your heart muscle, left atrium, left ventricle, right ventricle. And if you have troubles in your valve, Your valve can't close. You're going to have blood coming back out, and you're going to have a leaky valve. And once you have a leaky valve, you're going to have troubles with your heart long term. So I'm going to show you now tonight how you can take care of your heart and you can prevent hypertension. And if you have it, you can reverse it like I did. I don't take no drugs no more. And my penis is hard like a rock. You understand? Wonderful. I'm 66. Now, let's look at type of hypertension. Because in the medical system, they tell us that there are different types of hypertension. Vascular hypertension, one cause of it. Essential hypertension. That's when your doctor tells you, I don't know what caused you to have hypertension. So they call it in the medical system essential hypertension. Meaning that they don't know where your hypertension is coming from. You understand? Then you have preliminary hypertension coming from the lung. The vessels inside it, they all harden up. Then you have endocrine hypertension coming from the endocrine system, especially the adrenal glands, cortex and medulla. Yeah? And then you have constipation hypertension, when you're constipated. And when you are constipated, you are sending all the toxin into your liver, and you have liver and gallbladder overload, and because there is a meridian or a channel flowing from your gallbladder to your heart, you get hypertension from that. So if you have constipation, you can get hypertension because it affects your liver and your gallbladder. So you have liver overload, and because the hepatic vein now cannot move all the deoxygenated blood to go to the inferior vena cava from the lower part of the body, boom, it affects your gallbladder. You get gallbladder problems or gallbladder congestion. And once you have gallbladder congestion, you are going to get hypertension long term. So the first 6, vascular hypertension, essential hypertension, preliminary hypertension, endocrine hypertension, constipation hypertension, liver and gallbladder hypertension, blocked arteries hypertension, heavy metal hypertension. Heavy metal hypertension. That's what Dr. Wu taught me. He said, you look as though you have heavy metal hypertension. Why, sir? Because you have mercury in your mouth. You follow me? All of us who have mercury in our mouth, mercury in your mouth as fillings, take them out. I had to take out mine. Take mine out because it was killing my heart. Dig that. Don't forget now. Then you have acid hypertension, meaning that you have hypertension coming from the digestive system, meaning that you're not absorbing nutrients in the digestive system, and if you're not absorbing nutrients there, you are going to suffer from deficiency of magnesium, of CoQ10, of folic acid, of selenium, which deal with good heart health, and you're going to suffer from heart troubles. So these are all the types of heart troubles. Follow me. Hypertension. Let's go now. We're going down to the day 1. I don't want you to do a program for me, and I can guarantee you, if you follow that program, I don't care where you get your herbs from. You can buy it from anywhere. Once you buy your herbs and you follow my program properly, you're going to see that your numbers will start changing. I could guarantee you that. Now, let's go to over here first. Come over here, son. Let's look at some herbs, and I want you to mark them down for me. The first herb we use for hypertension is called olive leaf. It is also an antiviral plant for any kind of virus, hepatitis virus, herpes virus, COVID-19 virus, HPV virus. But this herb is also important for the heart muscle because it prevents the heart muscle from spasming. Too much spasm of the heart muscle. You understand? Next herb is called mistletoe. M-I-S-T-L-E-T-O-E. Mark them down. Next herb is called linden flower. Next herb is called mother's wort. Next herb is called hawthorn fruit, hawthorn berries, hawthorn leaf, and hawthorn flower. Follow me. This herb here acts as an amphoteric. So if you have high blood pressure, it normalizes the heartbeat. If you have low blood pressure, it normalizes the heartbeat. So if you have any one of them, hawthorn fruit, don't forget the fruit, the berries, the leaf, and the flower will normalize the heartbeat and give your heart a stronger contraction. And once your heart has a stronger contraction, it can push the blood through the vessel walls properly. So these are the herbs. Mark them down. I'm going to take the video down in a while, a couple of days. These herbs I just mentioned help with stress-induced hypertension and mild to moderate hypertension, not severe hypertension. These herbs I just mentioned a while ago deals with stress-induced hypertension, meaning that your hypertension is coming from the endocrine glands, your thyroid, if you're underactive or overactive, or your adrenals. Follow me. They also work on mild to moderate hypertension, meaning that you are going to have a number of 140 systolic over 90 diastolic. That's mild to moderate hypertension. If you have 150 over 90, that's mild to moderate hypertension. You should never go on drugs for that. If your pulse is 60 to 70 beats per minute, that's good. If your doctor check your pressure and your pressure and your pulse says 120 or 100, you having what we call endocrine hypertension, meaning that once your pulse past 90, it's telling me that you, the person, is having troubles in your thyroid gland, and because your thyroid is not working properly, it pushes up your pressure. Once you have a pulse of 100 and 120, you have troubles in your thyroid gland. And once you fix your thyroid, you're going to fix your hypertension. That's number one. Number two, if you have a pressure reading of 200 over 115, that's severe hypertension. You should be on medication for this type of hypertension. That means something is wrong with your heart muscle. You either have a blockage, or you have what we call cardiomyopathy, or you have afibrillation, or you have cardiomyopathy, or you have trouble in your chambers. Once these numbers go high like that, 200 systolic, 115 diastolic, I'm going to show you how to bring them down naturally. Wonderful. So these herbs mentioned before help with stress-induced hypertension and mild to moderate high blood pressure, but they also reduce LDL cholesterol. LDL cholesterol. Let's go to cholesterol, the culprit now. Coming back to you all. Now, let me educate the public tonight about cholesterol. You go to the doctor. He takes your cholesterol. Right? Then he takes your LDL. Then he takes your HDL. And he takes your triglycerides. And he takes your VLDL. VLDL. Very low density lipoprotein. Now, if you have a cholesterol count of 230, your doctor should never put you on drugs. Period. Number one. Number two, if you have a cholesterol level of 250, your doctor should never put you on drugs. Period. If you have a HDL, which is the so-called good cholesterol, it's not a cholesterol, it goes from 35 to 65. If it's higher than that, you have protection. Don't let them tie you up. LDL goes from, I think it's 99 also to 130. Different lab give you different numbers. Right? Now, this guy right here, LDL, they call him the culprit. But he is not a cholesterol. He is low L, low D density, L lipoprotein. So he is a protein that carries cholesterol to your arteries to clog it up, to make your heart up. And then you have the HDL, high density lipoprotein, not a cholesterol. It is a protein that takes cholesterol from your arteries to your liver to be excreted. But if you have a high number of HDL and a high number of your overall cholesterol, you have protection. You're not supposed to be taking Crestor and Lipitor because doctors will know better. They work for the pharmaceutical companies, so they must put you on a drug. That's just common sense. Yeah? VLDL goes to 0.17 for women and 0.20 for men. Very low density lipoprotein, not a cholesterol. So they make you feel that this guy right here is cholesterol, but he's not a cholesterol. He's a protein that carries the cholesterol to your arteries to clog it up. So you have to look at the LDL. Now, cholesterol only harm you when it's cholesterol oxidized. Read it again. Cholesterol only harm us when it oxidizes. So if there is no oxidation, cholesterol can never harm you, no matter how high it is. If you have a high level of cholesterol and you want to protect your heart, you have to come off the fried foods. You have to come off the ham. You have to come off the pork and the greasy food. And then if you come off the greasy food and you have a high cholesterol level and you're taking vitamin E, you're taking vitamin A, you're taking folic acid, you're taking CoQ10, you're taking magnesium, you're taking vitamin C. They are what we call antioxidant. So they prevent oxidation. So once you have a high level of all these antioxidants in your body and your cholesterol is high, ain't no way the cholesterol will harm you because it cannot oxidize. Don't let them fool you now and put you on these drugs because these drugs damage your liver long term. And that's the reason why when you're taking a Crestor or a Lipitor, you have to go to the doctor and get a liver test every 3 months. So don't forget, cholesterol only harms us when it oxidizes. If it don't oxidize, no matter how high your cholesterol is, and you're taking antioxidants, eating good foods, it can never harm you. Don't forget that. Wonderful. Next page. So we see that olive leaf extract, autumn berries, fruit, leaf, flower, mistletoe, mother's wort. They help with stress-induced hypertension and mild to moderate hypertension, but they also reduce LDL, so-called bad cholesterol, and they prevent oxidative stress. They prevent, I want to use the word again, oxidative stress. These herbs does that. That's what they do. So once you have hypertension, you have to put these herbs together. And then I'm going to put you on a little program and tell you what you have to do. And you will check for me twice per day, and you will see your pressure start dropping every day. Wonderful. We're going to come to that in a little while. Next one. Preventing and removing plaque from the walls of the arteries. Preventing and removing plaque from the walls of your arteries. Now all these are veins, arteries, and capillaries, and they're very important because blood has to move through them on a regular basis. See, once they clog, you will have troubles with your heart eventually, if you're prone, because now you don't have good movement of the blood. Blood moves like water. See, you have to have blood moving quick. If the blood don't move fast, you have trouble long term. So you have to have these veins, arteries, capillaries, all the vessels clean and moving the blood. So here now, preventing, I use the word prevention, I don't get it, and removing plaque from the walls of your arteries to prevent what we call angioplasty. They put in a stent where the blockage is at because they can't remove the plaque. I'm going to show you how you can remove the plaque naturally from the walls of the arteries. The first herb we're going to use is an herb called salvia root, or we call it Danshen, D-A-N-S-H-E-N. It is a herb that deals with circulation, but it's good for the heart muscle. It keeps the heart muscle moving the blood to the vessel walls. Salvia root, don't forget the name. Salvia root or danshen. Ginkgo, next herb. Ginkgo is not only for the brain, it is also for the heart, because it sends the blood or move the blood to the heart, to the vessel walls faster. You understand? And it also helps to lower your pressure and clean up the vessels in your eyes. That's what ginkgo does. So it's not really a brain plant. It's also a herb for your heart and for your circulatory system. Garlic, aged garlic. Everybody, oh, Patrick talk about garlic. Dr. Sebi told me to use garlic. That's Dr. Sebi. You're on Patrick Bell's page tonight. Garlic is a boss for dropping high blood pressure. Lots of people come and say, you know, Mr. Dallas, I had high blood pressure, doing some garlic and it went down. Yes, it drops it. It won't fix it though. But the garlic now, a small amount of it mixed with salvia root, ginkgo, and dankui, it starts to go into the arteries and it starts to clean them up. Small amount of it, not a lot of it, small amount, and aged garlic. It starts cleaning the arteries up, and because garlic is also an aphrodisiac, meaning that it makes your penis get hard, because it cleans the discharge that send the blood, that keep the valve closed when the blood is in your penis, the pineal artery. Garlic cleans that up too. Dankui. This herb moves the blood. It's called Angelica in Chinese medicine. We call it dankui. It moves the blood, but it also prevents congestive heart failure. So it's not only a herb for women who have PCOS and fibroids, it is also good for your heart. It is not only for women who have blocked troubles in the uterus and they have stagnation of the blood. It is good for your heart. It is good to strengthen your heart and move the blood. And that is why I put it in my heart formulas. Dankui, Colinsonia. This herb, you see this right here? This herb called Colinsonia. See this herb right here called Colinsonia? It deals with what we call vascular integrity. Vascular integrity. It strengthens the vessels. Strengthen them. So when they're strong and the blood is moving, they can't collapse. Strengthen them and move the blood. Colinsonia does that. Horse chestnut. Very significant when we're going to unblock the arteries, because now we're going to the lower limbs. Because lots of people have bad circulation in the lower limbs because of varicose veins. Lots of people have bad circulation because of diabetes. Lots of people have bad circulation because the heart isn't working properly. So we go into the lower limbs now, horse chestnut, from the waist down. Because we just said before that the blood that is coming to go into the inferior vena cava is coming from the lower part of the body, and the blood from the superior vena cava is coming from the top of the body, the brain to the face and to the hands. And the inferior vena cava is from the bottom to the top, to the same right atrium of the heart muscle. Dig that. So horse chestnut now works in the bottom from the waist down and move everything from the feet to the toes, come back up. That's what God is great, man. And then you have another herb called night blooming Sirius. And then the other herb called astragalus. And why did you put astragalus in there, Patrick Dells? Because astragalus is very important for when you are suffering from pulmonary hypertension, meaning that your hypertension is coming from your lung, the respiratory system. See? Mark them down and put them together. And you're going to program them, give you the program in a while. And you follow the program. And you will see a big difference if you have discipline. Night blooming Sirius. This herb, with an herb called cactus, is very important to prevent air fibrillation, cardiomyopathy, and cardiomyositis. Mix with ginger, mix with prickly ash, mix with cinnamon, mix with turmeric, mix with wood bethany, and mix with cactus if the heart is enlarged. Mark them down for me. If you know someone who has an enlarged heart, because now the heart, it becomes enlarged because your heart have to work so hard to pump the blood through the vessel walls. So the heart working like crazy. He's pumping because you have some kind of blockage somewhere. And automatically, by working hard, the heart becomes enlarged. And once the heart becomes enlarged, you have troubles with hypertension. But you can use all these herbs right here. Niblumin cereus, astragalus, prickly ash, cinnamon, ginger, turmeric, wood bethany, and Angus cactus. And these herbs will go in, and what they do is they relax the heart muscle. They relax the heart muscle. They relax the blood vessels. And once they are relaxed and they are dilated, not constricted, then the blood starts moving. And then your heart starts working. And once your heart starts working, all the enlargement of the heart starts going away. Now, because now you are relaxing your heart muscle, and you're opening your blood vessels, and you're having your pulmonary vein is moving all the blood to all parts of the body, and then you have all the inferior vena cava and the superior vena cava moving now the deoxygenated blood to the right atrium, to the right ventricle, back to the pulmonary trunk, into the lung, and come back as oxygen, and your heart don't suffer. Dig that. That's how I learned to fix my heart. That's how I learned to fix my high blood pressure. But they don't teach you that because the doctors work for the pharmaceutical companies. So they cannot fix your hypertension. They must put you on a drug. They're not here to fix your troubles. They are here to put a plaster on your sore and tell you that you have to take the drugs till you die. And they told me that too. Wonderful, yeah? Now, adrenal weakness. Come back over here, son. Come back over here. You going over here now. You see this right over here. Endocrine hypertension. Endocrine hypertension. Hypertension that's coming from the endocrine glands, either from the thyroid gland, either from the it can make you retain sodium. And once you're retaining sodium, it can make your pressure rise. So what we do, we mix the licorice with other adaptogens that is much stronger without the side effect. And then we put Cassandra, we put linden flower, we put American ginseng to strengthen the glands, we put holy basil, we put milky oats, and they now will prevent this herb licorice from retaining your sodium. So it stays normal. It fixes your pressure, and while it's fixing your heart, it is also going to work on your adrenal glands. And once your adrenal becomes strong, now your adrenal can normalize the function of your cortisol. It can normalize the function of your adrenaline. It can normalize the function of the medulla of the B5 vitamin and all the other hormone that is produced by your adrenals. You understand? Oh, tell all you. Oh, you will fix it, right? Wonderful. Now, come back over here now, son. Let's go to day number 1. When you start my program, day number 1, I want you to get 3 tablespoons of Epsom salt. If you have hypertension, you might have to leave the Epsom salts out, because some people say they raise their pressure. You might have to get some castor oil, or you can do a gallbladder flush or a liver flush. We're going to put it up on the site. All right? If Ashanti is looking at the program, my brother Ashanti or Trisha, Guy, they're going to put it up for you. If you want to if you have mild to moderate hypertension, 3 tablespoons of fine Epsom salts in some hot water, small amount of hot water, and if you feel that you're going to raise your pressure, add some apple juice to the mixture. Add some apple juice, or you could juice 1 garlic and put the juice in with the Epsom salt so the pressure stays normal. That's my kind of secret, right? Then you're going to drink that mixture before you go to bed, half an hour before bedtime, and then you're going to follow that by drinking a glass of pink grapefruit juice. If you have hypertension and you are taking a calcium channel blocker, meaning that you're taking a Novax or nifedipine, you have to prevent grapefruit juice, because grapefruit juice have a compound called naringin that can potentiate the calcium channel blockers. So if you are taking a calcium channel blocker, leave out the grapefruit juice and drink some apple juice, but not the grapefruit. If you're not taking a calcium channel blocker, you can drink the grapefruit juice. And after a half an hour, you're going to take 1 tablespoon of grapeseed oil. Don't forget, 1 tablespoon of grapeseed oil, and I want you to repeat that for me in the morning. So the last thing at night and the first thing in the morning, Epsom salts. If you feel you have hypertension and want to raise your pressure, you're going to juice 1 grain of garlic and mix it with Epsom salts or some apple juice, and you're going to drink that before bed and first thing in the morning. And after that, 1 glass of pink grapefruit juice. If you do have hypertension and you're taking calcium channel blockers, leave out the grapefruit juice and have your apple juice. And 1 tablespoon of grapeseed oil. Don't forget, grapeseed oil. It helps with your heart muscle, and it also prevents cardiomyopathy and cardiomyelitis. And ginger and turmeric and wood betony and astragalus, they prevent afibrillation that could cause you to get embolism in your lung. They don't teach you that, because they want you to learn nothing. You have to repeat this in the morning for me. That's day 1. Mark it down, because I'm going to take it on the video, Day 2. On the second day, I don't want you all eating no food. I don't want you all smoking no cigarettes. I don't want you all smoking no ganja, no weed. I don't want you all eating no refined carbohydrates. I don't want you all cooking your food in no aluminum pots. I don't want you all putting no aluminum deodorants on your arm. I don't want you all putting your food in aluminum foils. Follow. 1 green, 1 yellow, 1 red pepper, 2 pegs of garlic, 1 stick of ginger, 1 cucumber, 2 sticks of celery, sodium chloride, 1 green apple, 3 sticks of turmeric, 1 handful of parsley. 1 handful of parsley. Why 1 handful of parsley, Patrick? Because parsley can disarray the nervous system. And we don't want you to have dizziness from parsley. So only a handful of parsley should be used in the mixture, and I want you to juice them for me. Every day. 4, 5, 6, what you could afford it, 4, 5, 6 glasses per day. Every day. 30 days straight, once you can afford it. And then, I want you to get some grapes with the seeds, the black one, or the green one, with blueberries, gooseberries, blackberries, 1 beet, and I want you to mix them in a blender with some coconut water, with some sea moss, and blend it up. And this juice should be taken for next 35 days. The next 35 days, why Patrick does? Because all these here, watch it up, bring up the phone, son. They strengthen the capillaries. They have terpenoids, they have flavonoids, they have bioflavonoids, and they strengthen the veins. They move the blood. They move the blood. See? They move it. They wake it up, and the blood starts moving. That's what they do. And they're also good for women who have breast cancer and don't want to take tamoxifen, because they are your natural tamoxifen, because they prevent the synthetic estrogen from invading your estrogen receptors. They don't teach you all that. Tamoxifen gives you uterine cancer long term, but blueberry, gooseberry, raspberries, black grapes, sorrel, goji berries, all of them mixed together, and you put them in coconut water and drink them, they straighten them things here, man, and they prevent the woman receptors from receiving the bad estrogen that can go in and steal her combination lock, making her cancer spread to different places. These here, and they're from the earth, earthly things. Christ, if I tell you about earthly things you don't understand, you won't understand heavenly things. I'll tell you about earthly things because I'm from the earth. I cannot tell you about heavenly things. I ain't been up there. But I can tell you about earthly things that works for you. You are from the earth. So if you're from the earth, all these things are from the earth. You must go back to the earth because the earth has the compounds that is found in your body. Because when you die, that's where you go, back to the earth. So all the compounds from the earth is found right here, in this system right here, in this body. So you must go back to the earth. Don't let nobody fool you. None of them. That's where I've been. I went back to the earth. Here, follow me now. Herbs and supplements. Now, lots of people have kidney troubles. Because once you have troubles in your heart, you can have trouble in your kidney. And once you have trouble in the kidney, you can have trouble in your heart. Because they work together. The kidney controls the heart, and the heart controls the kidney. Yeah? So once you're working on hypertension, because the kidney filters the blood, and because the kidney deals with your acid-alkaline balance, and because your heart works better in an alkaline terrain, you must have the kidney normalizing the alkaline acid balance and keeping your pH, over here son, pH at 8.0 or 7.45. And your heart muscle works better here. Your heart muscle could work in a pH of 5.0, yeah. It will mess you up long term. But once you get a pH at 7.45 or 8.0, your heart say, oh shoot, I will start to pump the blood. And it's moving the blood. Woo! Because the pH is alkaline. You see? But you're eating an acid diet. So your whole body is acidic. Venous blood, acidic. Your capillary blood, acidic. Your arterial blood, acidic. And all the feeding your heart is acids. All the coronary artery feeding your heart is garbage. Your heart can never function that way. You see what I'm saying? You got to change the pH. So because the kidney is the organ that produces a hormone called renin, R-E-N-I-N, because renin deals with normalizing your pressure so the kidney controls your heart. So you must have the kidney in harmony and disease, and you must have the kidney in balance if you want to get your heart in balance, and you must have the heart in balance if you want to keep your kidney in balance, and you must have your heart in balance if you want to keep the lung in balance, and you must have your lung in balance if you want to keep the heart in balance. Because if you don't keep the kidney in balance, it's going to affect your heart. And because the heart needs the kidney for renin, all of a sudden the heart will say, oh, kidney, oh man, I can't work without the kidney, and then the heart will start to what? Work less and less and less. And then he will say, well, the kidney messed me up, so I'm going to mess up the kidney too. So he started to pump the blood lesser and lesser and lesser to the vessel walls, and then your kidney started to suffer now. Your kidney started suffering because you say, oh, I need blood from the heart. The heart has to pump the blood for me to move the water out, and because the heart is not pumping the blood properly, you start to have swelling of your feet and your ankles and your face and your hands because no, they're not working together. You see what I'm saying, people? They are one. The body is one entity. It's only different parts. They work as brothers and sisters. So, healthy heart, adrenal support, or endocrine nerve, kidney and bladder blend. So we have jupna berries, nettle leaf, nettle seed, uvarasi, hydrangea, corn silk. All these herbs together, kidney bladder blends. So these herbs go in and they tonify the kidney and they strengthen your kidney. And when they strengthen the kidney not going to remove the excessive amount of water from the through the bladder. After we clean them, we just showed you them a while ago. Clean up your arteries and your high blood pressure blend. And them teas should be taken 3 to 4 cups per day for the next 35 days. And I just gave you all the herbs a while ago, so mark them down. Mark them down. And you put yourself in a program. Now, these are herbs. I want you now to know what the heart muscle is made of, what it functions with. Your heart beats 60 beats per minute. Your heart pumps about 50 million gallons of blood in your lifetime. your heart. Your heart pump 1,960 gallons of blood per day, every day for you. If it pump too much, or it pump too less, you will have troubles. It has to have a balance. And you only have 5 quarts of blood. But that heart muscle is pumping that blood. 1,960 gallons per day. If you want to keep the heart pumping that blood, you have to exercise your heart muscle. Exercise it. Watch over here, son. Watch me now. Exercise the heart muscle. If you get short breath, something wrong in your heart. If you get short breath, something wrong in your heart. Exercise your heart muscle. Don't lift too much weight, but walk. Just sweat. And once you sweat, the heart has to pump. Move everything out. That's the key. Don't be lazy. Don't sit in the house every day. You think what happened? Move around. Lift your little water bottles. Water in your house. Don't you have to buy no weights? You can lift something in your house, like a water bottle, like a gallon of water, up and down. Fix your heart. Yeah? Over here, son. Selenium. Selenium is very significant for the heart. It is what we call a free radical scavenger. So if the heart is in trouble and the heart is weak and you want to remove the excessive amount of free radicals that is damaging your heart muscle, you must use selenium, 200 micrograms per day only. Vitamin E is important for the heart, but you must use vitamin E with vitamin K, and you must use vitamin E with vitamin A, and you must use vitamin E with essential fatty acids because they work together. All the fat-soluble vitamins, they work together. You cannot separate them from each other. Vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin K, EFAs, they work together. Black seed oil, flax oil, borage oil, they work together because they're fat soluble. So they don't, if you don't put them together, you can cancel out each other. Just like zinc. If you don't have copper, you cancel out zinc. If you can't use copper without zinc, they work together. You can't use vitamin C with iron without vitamin C. You can't use calcium without vitamin D, because they work together. You cannot use calcium without magnesium. They work together. So B12, 2,000 micrograms per day. Stress B. I want to emphasize on this word stress B. So when you're doing a stress B complex, or ultra B complex, you're having these Bs working on the adrenals to strengthen the adrenals, the endocrine glands, and then when you have those glands strengthened, these glands will normalize the function of your cortisol and your adrenaline and your B5 in the heart muscle, in the adrenals, and you will see a difference in your heartbeat. Magnesium. See this guy right here? He's found in the heart muscle. I take him every day. Come. I, Patrick Dance, I take 1,500 milligrams of magnesium per day. And I move calcium where it's supposed to go. Magnesium is found in your heart muscle. And 80 to 90% of Americans is deficient in this mineral. Either solution, capsules, or powder, not in tablets. Don't forget, 1,500 milligrams if you're severe hypertension. If you're mild to moderate, you can use 600 milligrams of magnesium per day. Yeah? What's that guy right here? I just take him every day. I take the gel. Oh, I take the time release one. See him? You see he is found in your heart muscle. This guy right here. And he takes 3 months. 3 months in order for him to get into the heart muscle. CoQ10. See, nitric oxide. Open the blood vessels, make the blood flow better. That's what I take. I take them every day. And because it's a gel, it busts open and moves into the heart muscle faster. And don't forget, it takes 3 months for this to get into your heart muscle. This guy right here, beta absorption. I take 400 milligrams per day. So I start off with 100 milligrams, and then each week I add another 100 milligrams till I get to 460 milligrams per day of the CoQ10. Otherwise, you're doing nothing. You can't take it for a month. It takes 3 months to get into the heart muscle. Don't forget that. Yeah? Next one. Folate acid. Not folic. Folate. Folate. Folate acid. Folate is found in your heart muscle. And he helps the heart muscle to the cells to divide properly. Folate. It is also found in women's cervix. And lots of women who is deficient in folate acid come down with dysplasia long term of the cervix. They don't have to have cervical cancer, or they don't have to have HPV, but if they are deficient in folate as a woman, they seem to have dysplasia faster. So women must take folate, not folate, folate acid. It also prevents miscarriages and deformation in babies too. But women should always take this folate acid. Don't forget, folate acid. Magnesium, come over here, son. Folate acid, 2,000 micrograms per day. And with my arterial blocker, I like to use EDTA in the liquid form to go in and bind with all these heavy metals and move it to the urine and clean it up. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks, or sometimes 6 months. It's according to how bad the blockage are over here. You either have a 20% blockage, you either have 40% blockage, you either have 80% blockage in the arterial walls. And if you want to unblock your arteries, you must use these herbs. And you must go on a program. Otherwise you'll do nothing. Period. So what I did, I created a formula. I created a formula called Heart Health. See there? Heart Health. And I put all them herbs in there. Garlic and olive leaf and all them and block your arteries. Keep it unblocked. Follow me now. Follow me. Now, for the rest of the program, when you want these things, I want you to avoid cigarettes. I want you to avoid fried foods. I want you to avoid greasy foods. I want you to avoid pork. I want you to avoid ham. I want you to avoid refined carbohydrates. And I want you to rest the organs. And then when you start to rest your organs, you will see your pressure start going down. Let me give you an example. Finish with this here. Now, the key is to prevent your pressure from going up. So if you start with a program and your pressure will be 200 over 110, and after the first week you're on the program, you see this 200 come down to 150, and you see that 110 come down to 90, you know that you're getting better. Because the key is to prevent this number from staying where it's at, 150. Once you go back again and start checking, and you see your check again, it says 140 over 90, and it says 140 over 80, you know you're getting better. Because the key is to not go back up here. Once you start going back up there, and you're going to fluctuate for a couple of weeks, you will see it's like a yo-yo. Because remember that you're going to balance back your heart muscle. So you have to realize that your pressure is going to start fluctuating up and down. But automatically, when your heart starts to respond to you now, you're going to see these numbers now. It's not going back up here again. They're coming down 150, coming down 140, coming down 140. Then you start to see they go to 130 over 80. And then you see they go to 120 over 80. And then you see they go 115 over 80. You say, damn, I'm the boss now. Because now you're not going back up there. You're not hitting 150 no more. You're not hitting 140 no more. You're not hitting 200 no more. And that's how you know. And that's why checking is important. You must check. That's number one. Number two. Come sir. When you get up in the morning, I want you to lay down on your bed and check your pressure when you're laying down. Right? And then sit up and check your pressure again. Yeah? Wonderful. Now, when you are laying down and you check your pressure, and when you lay down and you check your pressure, if your pressure says 140 over 90, and you sit up and check your pressure sitting up, and it says 150 over 100, that's your thyroid gland. It's telling me that your thyroid is messed up. So once you lay down, and it gives you this number, and you sit up, and it gives you 10 over systolic and 10 over diastolic, it's telling me that you have troubles in your thyroid gland. Go fix your thyroid gland. And then when you go and do your program, and you follow that program, we're going to put it up for you. And you follow that program, and you get these herbs. I don't know where you get it from. You can buy it from Vitamin Shop. But the beautiful thing about Ambrosia Health Foods is they have the blends for you. And if you come to the computer now, Chris, I'm ready. And if you can follow these programs properly, ain't no doctor seeing you no more. They're gone. Take that. You understand? Ambrosia Health Foods. 718-4690-85-KRISTYWPWK.BIC. Now, you want to go over there? No! Come on. Stay over there. Yeah, go over there. Go there for me. Now we go in and do some music for you all now. Stay in the line. We're going to do something. We have two beautiful singers over here. Come over there, sisters. Where they at? We have two songs, Birds of Grenada. And we wanted to give you all a little treat tonight. We're going to sing some songs, two songs. One is called Baby Girl. I wrote a song a long, long time for Christiana William Dell, you know what I'm saying? The wife, Christiana William Dell, my wife. There you go. And